Welcome to Tarot After Dark. We're also here because I've got my 5-day quest happening called Learn to Manifest with Tarot. So if you are here to learn a little bit more about how to use your own tarot cards, I love sharing ways that make it fun so you're not sitting there reading a dry book on how to do things. But for now, I just would love for you to just be present with yourself. Maybe close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Uncross your legs and let your feet fully touch the floor. If you're a shorty like me, that's a trick to do. Sometimes you just gotta adjust in whatever way works for you. So for tonight, this is all about manifesting with tarot. So make sure you grab your tarot deck. And if you don't have one, that's okay. You can borrow mine. I'll help you out. Comments are open, so feel free to comment and ask any questions you might have. Hi, Bunny. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. First and foremost, welcome to this 5-day quest. Am I a little bit crazy to start it on the first day of Mercury retrograde? Yeah. But what are you going to do? I love that deck, the Good Tarot. I don't have that one, so that's nice. It's nice to see some different decks happening. Oh, you don't need to see that. So yeah, I've really noticed this past weekend. I don't know if you've been affected by kind of things being quirky, lack of communication, mechanical things going wrong. Mercury is in retrograde, and you know what? It's okay. I mean, stuff like that happens all the time. We like to blame Mercury retrograde, but I think it's super important to just be aware of energy. And I know that that it was coming up, and often it's the few days before it happens and the few days after it ends that's the most intense energy. And to me, it's a heads up. It's an awareness. It's like, okay, all right, things are happening. And sometimes we need that Mercury retrograde energy to just allow us to just take a breath, stop, relax, take stock, because it often really doesn't matter. Oh, hi, Veronica. Nice to see you. It doesn't matter sometimes that we trying to manifest something good in our lives. Sometimes bad stuff happens. It just happens, right? I always blame things on Mercury and retrograde. Yeah. And I've shifted from that too, because I think as a collective, especially us, empaths and those that are in the healing realms of things, I think collectively we can put energy into that kind of stuff. So I try and see it from a perspective of we need those re's, the retrograde. It's the revisiting things. I can't think of any re's right now for whatever reason. But I decided to push through and do this quest because I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. Now, I know Bunny and Veronica, you kind of know me a little bit. But anyone who's watching this and doesn't know me, my background is as a Reiki master teacher. And actually, I first started as a foot reflexologist. And I really love the energy, the holistic side of foot reflexology. And I like to joke and say, and I wish I had a drum to just kind of go with it. That's how I got my foot in the door of getting into energy healing. But it really started out with something that was more tangible, the foot reflexology and things like that. But I loved the energy side of things. And I weirdly felt more energy when I wasn't touching, the feet or the body in Reiki. than when I was touching. So I really got to learn how effective and how profound energy can be. So when it comes to actually manifesting things, it's all about the energy. It really, really is. My Reiki guy retired. Oh, actually, I haven't since the old 2020 happened. I haven't been practicing on anybody else or myself, but I mostly like to teach. And my last class I taught in person was, I think, in March of 2020. That was the last in person. I did do some online, and I still kind of have a Reiki level 1 online course, but I never really picked it up once everything kind of, went sideways in my life. Sometimes you got to change things up, right? It's all about an energy change. And it's not saying never say never, but it's like things needed to change. My life changed, my marriage ended, I moved. I mean, I've moved twice since that time now. So it's really important to just be in the flow. And if something is struggling, like if you're trying to push through to do something and it's not working out, and this is where Mercury retrograde reminds us that, if you keep pushing that button and it's not working, it's like you have to stop and reassess and figure things out. Got this drawer open, I whacked my elbow on it. So let's see, I wrote a few notes here just to kind of keep things on track. So I hope everything's going for you. You've been able to look at the today's content for day one. It's all about setting your intention, right? That's where we have to start. Now, here's the funny thing about setting an intention, especially when it comes to manifesting something, whether it's manifesting money or something big, something you don't have. Often what comes up is, oh, well, I can't have that. I don't have it, therefore I don't deserve it. So there's lack, there's fear, there's not feeling deserving of something. I mean, all of these things, doubt starts to creep in. So it's really hard to have an intention that's pure and focused and vibrating at the highest vibration that it's going to attract what we want to attract. And that's all part of this lesson. I mean, it's easy enough to say, yes, my intention is, and la, 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 and that's what my intention is. But pay attention to the thoughts under the thoughts. Even if they don't show up now, if you keep looking back at your intention, because it's something you're going to visit every day of of this quest. It's not just about setting it for day one and done and dusted, move on. That intention is something that is your ballast. That is your center point whenever you want to think about whatever it is you want to manifest. Now, speaking of that, I want to bring up as well, let's see, when you want to manifest something and have intention, you need to be specific. So saying something like you want to manifest clarity, it needs to be something that's tangible. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't worry about not having the clarity. That's for the universe to help provide. We don't want to think about the hows. We want to think about the what. What do we want? Why do we want it? So if you were thinking of clarity for whatever, it's more, skip that part. You want to manifest clients. You want to manifest a house. You want to manifest a boyfriend. You want to, whatever it is, like, let it be something specific. And dare to dream, because pay attention to what you're feeling. All right. Manifesting is all about the law of magnetism. Well, it's about the law of attraction. Law of magnetism, you think of two magnets, we learned these things in science that when things are aligned, magnets will come together. Now, if you try and put things in a different way, the magnets will, and they'll go off in a weird direction. They'll still be attracted, but they're not quite as solid as when you align them just right. You know what I'm saying? Funny saying, you want to sell products. There you go. So sorry about Mojo. It's his time of night to come out, and he's kind of upset that he's still in his cage because I can't pay attention to him. He's my lovebird, in case you didn't know. Great to sell products. That's perfect. And it's even better if you can be even more specific than that. Do you have a specific product in mind? Like your book that you want to, like, if it's specific, and it can be the one thing, because here's the beautiful part. This thing that I'm teaching you to manifest with tarot, you can rinse and repeat it as often as you want, as many times as you want. But it's always good to just start with one thing, because when you get that one thing, your body, mind, and soul goes, I did it. Therefore, I know I can do it again. Right? And therein lies the secret to things, is giving ourselves those little mini wins. Because when we have the mini wins, we're giving ourselves validation. Yes, it works. It works. Even if stuff comes in the way and doesn't work out in the exact way we want it, we don't care about that. We have from point A to point B. A is our intention. B is the thing we're intending to have. The in-between is where the universe figures out the hows. We don't need to figure all that stuff out. What a relief, right? What a relief. Yes, naturally, there's some steps you need to take, but it's these little baby steps, these stepping stones that you need to take without really worrying so much about the perfection of it. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. Let's see. I want to see him. Yeah, he's the world's biggest introvert, let me tell you. And so it's your children's book. I love it. I love it. Holly's Gift. It's about a bunny. Of course, it's about a bunny. That's very sweet. So you have a good visual in mind, and I love that. So let that be your focus for this quest. And everything that you do using the tarot cards to help with that is going to either give you a heads up, oh, you've got this doubt, fear, whatever is coming up, or it's like, yes, keep going. We always want to clear that part of our energy so that we can really be this supercharged magnet that always knows that vibration we're going for. So it's key to really remember the negative niggles that get in the way, and they do get in the way. I have this story that happened to me just today. So, okay, first of all, I want to say, has this ever happened to you? You're in a lineup at a grocery store and you're next in line. You get all your stuff and the cashier says, okay, time to pay. You're using a debit card or a credit card, not cash. You're using one of your cards. You go to boop it and it's declined. What happens? What do? You know there's money in there. You just looked like yesterday or today, and you know the money is in there. But what happens? You don't just go, oh, I know the money's in there, just redo it. Often, first of all, we're embarrassed. We think everyone thinks this story about us now, or we don't have the money. Oh, we're poor, all sorts of things. Or we freak out because it's like, where'd the money go? Where'd the money go? That ever happen? Anyone ever feel that? Does that ever happen to you? I bet it does. It happened to me the other day, but today what happened was I got an email about the pet insurance I have for Elliot. And thank goodness I had that, because at 5 months he broke his leg. Thank goodness. Insurance is good. Hi, Marnie. Good to see you. So I got this email from the insurance company saying, oh, the money didn't go through from your last payment. And I was instantly like, oh, crap. Is that credit card maxed out? Oh, no. So I get into my head about all this stuff. And then I'm like, wait. Try and be a good example, Lorraine, for this manifesting quest going on here. So I'm like, okay, this can be resolved. If anything else, I have another credit card that I can use. Let's just phone them up and figure this stuff out. So long story, kind of a little longer, but not really. I phoned him up. She was really nice. It was really funny. Mercury retrograde. I'm waiting, la 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 la. Got my on hold music going on, and then I get through to the customer service rep, and she says, "How can I help you?" And then bloop, the call dropped. Mercury retrograde. It just started my Monday. So I'm like, oh shoot, now I have to call back, get back into the call line, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's just do this. It's got to get done. I have a meeting online soon, so I want to get this resolved so it's not on my mind. So I get back on and I'm going through the process, and then it tells me I have another call on the line. So I hung up there and I picked up the call, and she was calling me back. How often does that ever happen? That you get a call dropped near in one of those call centers. Well, she called me back, said, oh, the line must have dropped. So we got this figured out. I just used a different credit card. It all worked. She confirmed my address, which happened to be the address of where I used to live a year and a bit ago. So I said, no, I thought I changed my address, but I didn't, apparently. So she goes, well, this is going to depend where you live. Will your premium may go up accordingly. So I'm like, oh, great. Here I am out in the boondocks. Naturally, it's going to be more expensive out here. However, it wasn't. It's like $20 cheaper premium per month. And now, instantly I went, oh my gosh, I've been paying extra for a whole year for no reason. And then I went, clear, cancel, delete. Don't worry about it. We can't live in the past. We've got to live in the present. Now, the long story short is I pay less money now. Now, I would not have done that or known that if I didn't get that email saying that my payment was declined. Lesson learned. And that literally happened today. Thank you, universe, because it gave me a good example to share here. So there you go. Let's see. Veronica's saying, Bunny, that's a great topic about a bunny. I was just drawing a bunny last week. Oh, there's bunnies all over the place. I love it. It's cute. So yeah, I mean, this thing that happened, this story that I just told you that actually happened today, we have to really be present in our body and understand what's going on with us. We are vibrational, energetic beings. And when our energy gets all we're not going to be very good for anything to manifest. So we have to bring our energy back to where we need it to be. And there's lots of ways to do that. As an energy healer, well, you can meditate. You can do deep breathing. But what are you here for tonight and for this 5-day quest? Tarot. You can use tarot as well. I love to pull a tarot card every morning just to get a feel for the day. Now, if you know tarot a little bit or a lot, there are some that are seen as more negative tarot cards. And that's really just an awareness of where the energy might be lacking. Or you pick a card that's more of the positive. So whatever you get, never see it as, oh, this is bad. Okay. Because it is just an awareness. All right. So, going back to today's actual lesson, what was setting your intention. So it was about choosing a tarot card that is going to symbolize your intention. So purposefully, I said, don't just randomly shuffle and pull whatever. I wanted you to actually look through the deck while you're thinking about your intention and pull a card that's going to represent that. Now, you can choose to take a picture of that card so you have it. You can choose to do that every morning. Pull a card for an intention. But for this whole quest, that big bad intention, big good intention, I should say, is something that's just going to bring an awareness to you. It's like a focal point so that you're able to think more materially about it. You have a visual when you see it, because I know not everyone can visualize. When you say visualize, you might not just close your eyes and actually see it. You might interpret it in a different way. You might feel it. You might just build that visualization in a way that works for you. Okay. Any questions so far? Pop them in the chat if you have any questions on that. So I do want to say that moving forward as we go along in this quest for the next 4 days after this, any of the cards you pull that do seem kind of negative, those are the ones that you can pay attention to and maybe see, can you pull a clarifying card that can help you understand it better? But I'm also here to help you get some clarity on those as well, especially if you're fairly new with using tarot. I can help guide you not to the meaning of the card, because there's no static meaning to the cards. I read tarot intuitively, so it's often going to go against, not go against what the books say, but it's in the moment. We never know what these tarot cards, like the person who wrote the meanings, it's not always going to go with the question and the query you ask, right? So you have to take that into consideration when you're asking a question of the cards, even if it's something simple as, what do I need to know today? You know, if you get the Tower card, you're like, oh, something's bad's gonna happen. No, that might seem that there's something that has a shaky foundation and something's probably not going to go the way you think it's going to go. It doesn't mean it's going to be disastrous. Life is going to do life no matter what. It's up to us and how we respond or react. That makes the biggest difference. You know, it's like the story I told to you when I got that email. I could have totally went off the deep end about it, going, oh no, my credit card, you know, I've been worrying about money and all this stuff. And I know now this is a sign, things are horrible, you know, but I thankfully didn't do that. If you ever want to get into a tizzy about something, you really just need to take a 5-second stop, breathe, call your energy back to yourself, and then start again. I mean, it still might be like, but you're not as knee-jerk reaction to do something. So I want to just pull a card here for the collective to just get a sense of what the tarot needs to tell us for this 5-day manifesting quest. Let me pull this one. Ooh. We have the 6 of Wands. This is the Lightseer Tarot, one of my favorite decks. So you can see, what's the first thing that you were drawn to when you see this? Pop it in the comments. This card often symbolizes celebration. It symbolizes that you have succeeded at something. And I like seeing this one, especially from an introvert's perspective, is that you're comfortable with celebrating yourself, showing off a little bit. And wands are often about career, action taking, things like that. 6s are often about balance, you know, 3 and 3 or 2, 2 and 2. Like it's all about balance. And what'd you get? Bunny says celebrating. Yes, definitely. And, you know, there's a crowd of people in the front and she's just standing there accepting everything as it is. So to me, this is victory. This is showing that whatever you set your mind to, you can succeed. The thing is, don't get stuck in that it has to show up exactly like this, because life isn't like that. Sorry, it's not. So you have to be willing to be a little more flexible in things. That's why it's better to have a little broader of an intention and a vision, but it still needs to be specific, if you know what I mean. Like it's kind of like learning how to golf. You have that weird stance, but it's just something that you have to be aware of as you move along and move along. Let's see, I wrote more notes. What did I write? I think I covered pretty much everything. A little more about the clarifying, because if you just look at one card and you're like, okay, that's great and all, but maybe it's more like, well, what does this give me more. Tell me more. And that's something that you can definitely do. So let's ask it. Tell me more about this celebrating and this victory. And another thing, how do you pick your cards? Some of the exercises throughout the week will be just shuffling and then randomly picking. Others will be specifically looking through the deck for a card that matches the energy you're trying to magnetize and emulate. Okay. So, but when you are pulling a random card, what do? Often I will shuffle until something jumps out. That seems to be the decks that I work with seem to like doing that. So this one that jumped out, and I love jumpers because it's like, it has nothing to do with me. I'm not just picking a card. So 2 came. Oh, I just noticed that one. All mine jump out of the deck. Yeah, that's my favorite. But sometimes when they don't jump, you're shuffling forever. And I'm like, I'm going to get carpal tunnel syndrome here if a card doesn't jump anytime soon. Yeah, shuffle jump. Yeah, those are the best. This jumped out of the deck. 10 of Cups. This came up earlier today in a little shorts that I did on my channel here. This came in after all of the stuff that happened this morning with that and with the insurance stuff. So it's like, thank goodness. So as you can see here, we have rainbows, we have kids playing. We've got a couple of people who are happy to be hanging out. Yes, love. I love. Yes, exactly. Love, acceptance. Cups is about emotion and intuition. So this to me is saying, no matter what, if there's struggles or if there's a bit of fear or things don't work out exactly the way you plan them, just keep focusing on the energy you want to bring in. This to me is when you're thinking and visualizing on the thing you want to attract and manifest. That's this energy every time. So when you get into a little worry about, how is this going to happen? Or I don't think it's possible. And I've tried everything. It happens when we do that. You just need to go, okay, recognize it and go pat that negative part of you on the head and say, that's fine. Thanks for your awareness. And then get back into, how is it going to feel when I have that victory? It's going to feel really good. My gosh, the universe is just giving me good examples. I'm very happy with that. And the other one that jumped up was the 4 of Swords. So this can be whatever thoughts you have, they are going to be with you when you're not paying attention. This is, to me, your subconscious thoughts. Okay. What are you going to be thinking about? Because Swords is about intellect and thoughts and things like that, and can often get in our way. I feel that the suit of Swords gets a really bad rap, and rap, whatever you want to say. But I think Swords, it's our awareness. And when we're aware of the things that are getting in our way and sabotaging us, we have a better chance of getting through them than totally being unaware. If everything was just subconscious and we had no idea it was going on, right? So to me, what I'm picking up from this is when you are in that sleepy state, either just going to sleep or just waking up, and if you've ever had that kind of a panicky thing for whatever it is you're trying to manifest that you don't have, it often happens in those times of the day. And going back to my story, I don't know if you saw it on the sign up page, when how I started using tarot to manifest was when I sold my place in summer of 2023, and I had to move, and I only had like 6 weeks till the people get my place, and I had to find a place and move into it and all this stuff between. And I was having a tough time finding anything. And it wasn't for lack of I wasn't being picky. I put offers in on 3 places and they just all didn't work for whatever reason. And you know what? Thank goodness. But boy, I tell you, the universe really made me sweat to the last before things came in. And I had those moments in the mornings, like early morning where it's not quite time to get up, but you wake up, you come out of that deep state, and I would just be suffocated by this panic of like, oh, what am I going to do? I have nowhere to go. And then I start thinking of all of the band-aid fixes. Oh, I stay in hotels places. And it's like, well, how can you do that? You got a bird and a dog and all your stuff. And so all of the worry wheels started spinning like crazy. And I just had to acknowledge it and release it. So, I mean, that stuff does come up. All right. It's not like once you make your intention, everything's just going to work out. No, it's not how it works. But it's okay. You're forewarned now. Forewarned is forearmed. And from there, you can definitely make things work. All right. Those were great cards to start things off. So, also, part of this Mercury retrograde thing is this community that's on the Kajabi platform. I've been with Kajabi for, I don't know, almost a decade now, I think. But this community stuff is new to me. I think they've only brought it in within the year. But this is the first time I'm actually using it, and it's kind of confusing to me. So your grace and patience would be wonderful. And let me know whenever you have any issue with it, okay? Because where there's a will, there's a way. I'll find a way for you to get the play sheets. Hopefully you were able to get those. Those are just in the email for you to click, and it should download the PDF for you. So just to keep it I'm trying to keep it super simple. But I've been doing planning this quest for such a long time, and I got in my own way about it that I finally went, you know what? I'm not going to listen to all of the gurus and the experts, because I've tried stuff like that before and it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. And I didn't want to do it on Facebook this time, because I know people who are on my channel here aren't necessarily on Facebook. And I thought I was just going to try something different, because Facebook can be, maybe it's just me talking, quite distracting. And I turn a lot of my notifications off so I wouldn't get them anyway. So hopefully you're going to get the daily emails, and maybe you get the notifications for the Kajabi app. The good thing is there's the website browser version of Kajabi, and there's also the app you can download, which for some weird reason I have the app, but when I click to get into the everyday tarot circle, it won't let me in. So I don't know what's going on, but hopefully it works for you. And does anyone have any questions before we call it day one done and dusted? And while I'm waiting for comments to come in, or your biggest takeaway from today, I want to see if there are comments, because I want to make sure it's still working. I also want to say that there are daily prizes. I'm going to choose a person for each day, but I'm going to let things like there's still the evening to go. So I might wait until later in the week or at the end and choose someone from each day, just to see because that gives you time to actually do the work. The play, it's not work. That's the whole thing. It's not work. It was relaxing. Thank you. I want it to be fun and relaxing and something you enjoy doing, something you look forward to doing, and not one of those things, oh, I look so forward to doing that, but I was so busy and I didn't get to do it. Like, give yourself 10 minutes. I suggest in the morning, because then you have all day to use that energy. But that's just a suggestion. You got to go with what works for you. Maybe people work night shift. So whatever works for you, just grab that tarot deck. And you don't have to keep the card out that you use for intention. Make sure you put the cards back in, because repeaters are like highlighted energy and messages. When you get cards that keep repeating themselves, pay attention. So I do recommend that you journal and write things down. even if it's just on a piece of paper for this 5-day quest, day one, these are the cards that came, and use the play sheet as well. But I always like to kind of keep track, because I do notice there's 78 cards in the tarot deck, but I swear there's only maybe 25 that seem to come up the most whenever I'm pulling cards. Whether I'm pulling them for myself or someone else, I know there's always a message. And I take that message in as well. So there you go. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you for being part of this quest. And I'm looking forward to seeing the little hints and the little winks from the universe that you get, because you're focused on making these wins every day. And it's one step at a time. It's not saying, I've set my intention, now I got this thing. You set your intention, what's the next little step, right? What's the next little win that you can have? Focusing on that 6 of Wands energy. All right. Short and sweet, like me. All right. Take care. We'll see you here tomorrow. And from here on out for the quest, it's 5 p.m. Pacific time. And I am highly aware that is American Thanksgiving. So if you can't make it on those days that you're celebrating that, that's totally okay. Come back for the replay. I will leave a link. I'll try and remember to put a link in the email for the next day so you can revisit this again then. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And we will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific. Peace out.